After the release of Irae, the latest horror film in which Pranav Mohanlal played the central character, one of the major topics that was discussed on social media was about how we behave in the space called a movie theater. Since this discussion happened in the context of this one movie, many people seem to talk about it looking at it through only one aspect, which is the annoying running commentary during movies. In today's times, with multiplex theater culture, smartphones, reels, and Instagram story updates, to be honest, it feels very necessary to create an awareness about what theater etiquette is because many people have not understood the theater as a public space. A large section of viewers in today's society thinks that once they and their friends take tickets and go inside, the money paid by the other 100 people sitting around them has no value. Even those who say that they couldn't enjoy watching Irae because there were people shouting comments are also people who create disturbances for the rest of the audience in other ways. After a movie is made, there is a practice called cube check, where the filmmakers sit in the cube theaters and watch the film to see the final output. One specialty of those theaters is that if you are going inside, you must place your mobile phone in a facility they provided and only then you can watch the film. That means while watching the movie, a phone will not be there to distract you. That is the ideal kind of scenario in today's times for watching a film, to watch with full attention a movie that a director and his team have made. But to expect that everyone will leave their phone outside the theater and watch the movie is not a practical thing in the real world. But keeping as much distance as possible from the phone, that is something all of us can very easily practice. The most basic thing is keeping the phone in silent mode. And it is the bare minimum of decency. In today's phones, it is very easy. With one single click, the phone can be made silent. Even then, there are some people who don't have the courtesy to see it as a minimum decency. They must make the sound of their iPhone or Android ring through the entire theater. Even when they know that it becomes unpleasant for others, a large section still does not make their phone silent. When I was watching the very first show of Oppenheimer, during the most important scene where we see the Trinity test, because one fantastic person in the audience had not kept his phone silent, the scene, which used silence so brilliantly, could not be fully enjoyed in the intended way by me and others sitting in the theater. Those who were there in that theater that day won't be able to forgive that guy's entire bloodline for a really long time. But as I said in the beginning, many people think they don't need to keep the phone silent. If they make it silent, they won't know when a call comes, so even if it bothers those sitting around them, it's totally fine. They will keep their phones as it is. Then there are others who appear polite on the outside. When their phone starts ringing, they either attend the call with a face showing they forgot to make it silent, or they make it silent at that time. But when the second call comes, again the ringtone will ring, third time, fourth time. The calls will keep coming and they just won't switch it into silent mode. Then there is another group, the majority. A call will come, they'll take it, and without informing the person on the other end that they are inside a theater, they will keep talking. Hey dude, tell me, what's up? No, not busy at all. Yeah, you tell. And they will go on like that. In most cases, such people don't even show the courtesy of lowering their voice. Everyone in the theater will have a clear idea about the problems in his house and among his friends, what he plans to do this evening, etc. Even if the person who called doesn't get it properly. When you enter a movie theater, keep your phone in silent mode. If calls come, unless it is unavoidable, don't pick them up. Or if you do pick it up, speak softly and say, I'm in the theater, we'll call you back. Or if you absolutely must take the call, step out of the theater and attend to it. Anyway, while talking on the phone, you won't be able to follow the movie. But isn't it enough that you alone lose the experience? You don't have to distract the two people sitting next to you too, right? Then comes the second point, mobile screen brightness. In today's short attention span era, many people have this habit of frequently taking out their phone and checking it in between. Those who do that should at least reduce their phone's screen brightness. Today, in almost all phones, if you pull down the notification bar, you can switch on the dark mode with one click. If there are people who don't know what that is, whatever appears white on your screen will turn black and whatever appears black will turn white. That way, you will be able to reduce the light that feels like a torch on the faces of others sitting around you. Avoid opening your phone as much as possible, and if you must open it, at least do this much. About 10 years ago, when I used to go to theaters, the habit of watching videos on one's own phone with full sound was first seen among somewhat older people, the people above or around 50 years of age who were using smartphones. Back then, there were certain limitations in making them understand, because at that time, for many such individuals, using smartphones was something they were just becoming familiar with. But today, watching reels and shorts is something that all of us do. As I said earlier, with the attention span having decreased, people have now started watching reels sitting inside the theater. The strange thing about this is that most of the time, people justify it by saying that they do so because the movie was not good. Liking or disliking a movie is a relative thing. So, destroying the experience of others just because you didn't like the movie is indeed a sign of low cultured attitude. The basic thing is, when something like a movie is happening, don't disrespect it by opening your phone and scrolling through videos. If your logic is that I paid 200 rupees, I will do as I wish, then recognize that you are a first-class public nuisance. Just like this reel watching, there are also fantastic people who play games sitting inside the theater. Either go out and play from outside and come back. Anyway, while playing a game, you cannot follow the movie. Let at least those who wish to see it watch it peacefully. Then to those who come as a group, whether it's two people or half a dozen college friends or a family of the same size, the screening is not happening only for your family and friends. There are others also. It's not that you have to sit silently like a military camp and finish watching the movie. When watching something like a Deadpool, everyone has the right to clap and laugh. When watching Rajinikanth or Shah Rukh Khan's mass action movie, there is nothing wrong with clapping and whistling. Those films are designed like that. But chatting and commenting from the beginning to end based on things that only you and your gang understands, and talking random stuff without respecting the mood of the movie in any way, such activities are things that fall below a minimum level of decency. Recently, I went to see this Kannada movie called So From So. Just next to me, 3 people were there. After the movie started, about 10-15 minutes into it, 2 of them started talking to the third person. Is this the super movie you raved about? Nothing is happening here, man. What is this mess? If nothing happens even after the interval, I'm leaving. They were talking like this. After the interval, when the movie started again, they continued talking. I will watch for another 10 minutes more. If nothing happens, I will leave. After that, one of them started watching reels. Even though I showed my discomfort, they continued as if talking and watching reels inside the theater were their birthright. When the last 15 minutes of the movie happened, these people who had sat till then talking and annoying others started finding the movie exciting. For those like me who were sitting near them, those 3 did not give even a small chance to invest and watch that film properly. You might think, couldn't you have told them? But many times when we say such things, people behave as if their fundamental rights have been questioned. I paid money to get inside the theater, I'm using my phone, I'm talking using my mouth, what's your problem? This is the kind of response we get when we go and argue with people in such situations. Once I asked someone who had kept his screen brightness like a burning torch, can you please reduce the brightness a bit? His reply to me was, why are you looking at my phone? I sincerely prayed that he would get a high beam in his face while driving back home that night. That's the only way people like him would know how light works. The next thing I'm about to mention is almost like a ritual that you can't question. Nowadays, aside that everyone who goes to see movies in theaters sees this, when the title begins to appear from every seat, mobile camera screens will pop up. Everyone will take a photo, put it on Instagram or WhatsApp and inform everyone that they went to see such a movie. Since this has become a practice, there is no point in speaking strongly against it. But there are some other disturbances surrounding it. Many people, after taking this photo, spend the next 5 minutes deciding on Instagram which alignment to use, who all to tag, which music to put, which part of the music to play, and so on. If this affected only them, there would not be any problem. But many do it in a way that disturbs those sitting beside them. And it doesn't end with just posting that status or story. They will repeatedly check during the movie to see who all viewed it and who all liked it. Similarly, the same thing happens with movie scenes. The hero's intro, some fight sequences, and many important parts of the movie, people take videos and upload them as stories just to show others that they saw it first. Even while taking those videos and while uploading them, their attention moves away from the movie. And in the same way, they create situations where those sitting next to them can't properly pay attention to the movie. We can understand that those who go to theaters once in a while won't easily realize the problematic side of these things when told. But those who have worked in films know how much money and time it takes to create even 1 minute of footage in a movie. So what they can do is stop the practice of resharing the photos or small clips taken inside theaters as stories just because they were mentioned or tagged in them. Many people do such things to gain attention. Once they realize that doing wrong things will not get attention, naturally they will stop the practice of taking and posting full movies on Instagram stories. The irony is that even inside the film industry itself, there are people who believe that taking and uploading scenes or title photos is a form of promotion. Now, the next one is a complicated kind of group, the parents of small children. These are the people who have the attitude that we need not bother about others at all. If someone questions them, immediately they will say stuff like, "So we should not watch the movie? Are you saying that because we have children, we must stop watching movies?" There is a thing called babysitting. Normalize that and hand over your children to your parents or to close friends and come as a couple and peacefully watch the movie. That way, you can enjoy and those around you can also enjoy. If you say we don't have anyone like that, then please do not watch movies. Anyway, after a few years, you will emotionally blackmail this child saying the sacrifices you made, add 5 or 6 movies to that list and let others watch movies peacefully. Bringing small children to the theater, putting something on the mobile phone for them to stop crying, thus destroying the movie watching experience of others, letting children walk freely inside the theater like a park, making others have to look whether these children are tripping on the steps. When this kind of insensitive behavior is questioned, these people will ask a counter question. Shouldn't we also deserve to watch movies? Trying to gain sympathy votes. I think rather than creating dine-in theaters, PVR should think about holding parents-only shows where toddler parents can share their inconvenience. When doing family planning and thinking whether to have a child, among the many factors that are considered, please take into account one more factor that for some time they might not be able to watch movies in a theater. Next are the food lovers. In this matter, the audience members can't be blamed alone. Many of today's leading theatre chains that are running restaurants under the pretense of being cinema theatres are creating half the problem. When I was growing up, going to a theatre was to enjoy the movie and to deal with the mild hunger and thirst because we are sitting in AC for 2 or 2.5 hours. We buy a coffee or juice, a samosa or a small popcorn. That was the habit of those days. Moongfali becoming popcorn, popcorn becoming nachos, coffee becoming cappuccino, all that can be understood as a part of changing times. But eating a little snack in between watching a movie has now changed into the level where we are watching a little bit of film in between eating a full course meal. These days, when entering the theatre itself, you must buy a minimum of 2 items. That must be finished in the first half, and for the second half's food, you will order it at the interval. That too will be a minimum of 2 or 3 items, and that will also be in good quantity. If the ticket cost per person is a maximum of 200 rupees, the food cost per person is now almost rupees 300. Things have reached that level. You might think, what's my problem? If they have money, let them eat. When people come to a theatre with a mindset that it's a place to eat, many times they reach a state where they show no respect to the content seen on the screen. Now take the latest example itself, Irae. It is a film that depends very much on sound design and silences for creating its horror impact. When Pranav Mohanlal is inside that house trying to carefully listen to each small sound, imagine the person sitting next to you without any sensitivity chewing popcorn or chips. What I am saying is, instead of thinking if they are selling it, I can buy and eat it, we should think about whether the food we buy can be eaten in a manner that doesn't ruin the atmosphere. When I go to theaters, I too buy and drink coffee, and in some situations buy items like chips. But I am aware that chips are something that makes some sound when we eat. When watching a movie full of songs and noises and all, eating chips will not be that big a disturbance. But while watching a movie where silences have a lot of importance, try to eat it in a way that does not trouble others. That's a minimum decency. Talking softly and gently in a morning house is common sense. In a similar way, when you are in a public space like a theatre, make sure your actions are not causing disturbance to others. I have a request for the present-day luxury multiplexes. Before the movie starts or during the interval, bringing the food that was ordered is a decent thing. Taking the order at the beginning or interval and then in the middle of the movie, a staff member coming with a tray full of food, giving it to the person sitting in the center seat, disturbing those who are watching the movie with attention, is something that is happening nowadays. This kind of practice is not fitting for a theatre that collects premium charge. It's like you are openly admitting that you care less about the movie and your only concern is the overpriced food that gives you profit. There is a lot of hardship in making a movie, and for that reason, enjoying the movie without any disturbance is also important. Put the phone in silent mode. Use dark mode. If you must take the call, lower the volume and speak and say that you are in the theatre and cut the call. While the movie is going, reduce the conversations with each other as much as possible. Do not bring small children to the movies. When ordering and eating food, do it in a way that does not trouble those who came to watch the movie. Simply put, if you behave with the awareness that others too have come paying money to watch the movie just like you, those who raised you won't get blamed for your behavior. Please share your thoughts in the comment section about this topic. If you found this video relevant, please consider liking it, and for more such content, please consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you.